ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యా రంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Now we are in the discussion about morphology. In morphology we studied about root and stem. Now we are in the discussion about leaf. Now in leaf let us study about leaf modifications. Let us study about leaf modifications. Earlier we already have discussed the definition for modification. What exactly is the definition for modification? I write again, a permanent change in structure of leaf, So here to perform special functions, So what are the special functions here? Maybe for protection or maybe for climbing, yes or no, or maybe for what you call vegetative propagation. So modification is nothing but the definition. This definition is quite common for all types. Modification definition is quite common for all types. Means definition is same. What is a modification? A permanent change in the structure of leaf. For root we will write a permanent change in the structure of root. For stem we will write a permanent change in structure of leaf. Means the leaf structure is getting permanently, it is getting altered, permanently it is getting changed. For what purpose it is getting undergoing some changes? Here to perform a special functions like maybe for the sake of protection or maybe for climbing, to climb on the support, or even for vegetative propagation. What is vegetative propagation? A part of the leaf is involved for the whole and complete development of the organism, or complete plant produced from part of the leaf is called vegetative propagation. Right. Now let us study about leaf modifications. Let us take the first category under this is nothing but tendrils. Let us take the first category under this is tendrils. You already have come to know the description of the tendrils. How do we define tendrils? Structurally if you look at, they are thin, wiry, coiled, sensitive structures helps in climbing. How the way we can define here? Tendrils are nothing but they are very thin, very thin. They are weak stem actually, you know that, creepers and climbers, in that you find coiled structures, right? Thin, wiry, coiled, sensitive structures which helps in climbing. They help them for the plant to climb on the ladder or on the wall, or for taking the support, right? They are called tendrils. Now if you look at the tendrils, maybe here in this case you can take entire leaf, we can take that part of the plant, part of the leaf. I am giving you a small table. We will see in that which part of leaf modified into tendril. Modified, or better you write here only. Modified into tendril. And where do you find such type of arrangement? Nothing but example. So let me give you the small table. What is the table? Includes a part of the leaf modified into tendril, and where do you find such type of arrangement? So here we can write entire leaf, means total leaf, entire leaf get modified into tendril. Where do you find such type? You find in the plant name called Lathyrus. You find in case of Lathyrus. What happens in this case? Entire leaf. So, I will show here. So, this is nothing but earlier the plant having the leaf like this. Now, the entire leaf get modified into tendril. Okay. So, in young stage of leaf formation, it will be like this. Now, when it is getting developed into like this, so this is the one get modified into tendril. Entire leaf get modified into tendril in case of Lathyrus. Remember examples. Examples are very important, and in this example which part is modified into tendril also important. So, maybe here this plant has all leaflets, entire leaf get modified into tendril. That means in place of leaves what you find is tendrils. Okay. Then here apart from this upper leaflets modified into tendrils, that you find in case of Pisum sativum. So, that is nothing but pea plant. Okay. So, what is the meaning of upper leaflet here? I hope this is visible to you. It is nothing but here the whole leaf got modified into tendril. Entire leaf got modified into tendril where? Lathyrus, and helps in climbing. Then what about this Pisum sativum? Generally if you see the pea plant, in pea plant you can see small leaves. These are called as leaflets. A small leaf like structures what you find here are called leaflets, but upper leaflets get modified into tendril. Okay, you find leaflets arrangement here, but upper leaflets get modified into tendrils, that you find in case of Pisum sativum. I repeat again, the part of the leaf modified into tendril, and where you find, that is example, entire leaf get modified into tendril in case of Lathyrus, and upper leaflets get modified into tendrils in case of Pisum. Let us continue further some more examples. I will continue writing the table here. So, what do we get here? Part of leaf get modified into tendril, and what is the example? So, let us give some numbering to remember. This is 1, this is 2. Okay. Then let us talk about, in some cases leaf apex get modified into tendril in case of gloriosa. What is the meaning of leaf apex? Tip of the leaf. So, in this case you find that if this is a leaf tip get modified into tendril. Leaf apex means here tip of the leaf modified into tendril. So, leaf apex you find in case of where? Gloriosa. Simple guys, you just take the white paper, copy down that complete that what are tendrils and this table, which part is getting modified into tendril, and example. If you can practice, it becomes very easiest one, because you have to remember, you need to struggle little to remember about names of the plants. Plant examples you have to remember, and in that what part get modified. If you can practice, easily you will get it. Then stipules. Stipules are modified into tendrils in case of smilax. So, smilax is the plant in which stipules are modified into tendrils. What are stipules? Guys, you remember for the last class what we studied? Two small leaf like structures. Where do you find? For example, if you take, here I am drawing. So, here this is nothing but the leaf. So, this is nothing but the leaf. On either side of the leaf, on the leaf base, for the last class we studied, at the leaf base on either side of the leaf we find a small sensitive leaf-like structures called as what? Stipules. What is meant by stipules? A small leaf-like structures which are present on either side of the leaf base are called stipules. Now what we say now? In case of Smilax plant, stipules are modified into tendril like this. Stipules are modified into tendrils. Okay, I hope you got it. Here stipules are modified into tendrils on either side of the leaf in the plant Smilax. Right. Then apart from this, entire petiole get modified into tendril. In which plant? You can take for example Clematis. Okay. So what happens in this case? Entire petiole get modified into tendril. In which plant? Clematis. What is petiole? The stalk of the leaf is called petiole. So for example, I am drawing here, this is the stalk. The stalk is called as what? Petiole. Did you remember? We discussed for the last class. The stalk of the leaf is called petiole. In this case what happens? Petiole get modified into tendril. So in this case the petiole get modified into tendril. Then when petiole, whole petiole got modified in tendril, you find in case of Clematis. Then part of the petiole get modified into tendril in case of Nepenthes pitcher plant. Nepenthes. What is Nepenthes? It is commonly called as pitcher plant. Okay, part of the petiole modified into tendril where Nepenthes pitcher plant. You know pitcher plant is insectivorous plant which traps the insects. Nepenthes generally you can, I think you might have known in some notebooks also will have the picture. Nepenthes, what do you call? Pitcher plant. If you observe in that, you find a sac like structure, a bag like structure, right, with the lid, and that you find here it will be like this. So this is nothing but part of the petiole, half of the petiole get modified into tendril, this get modified into tendril, and remaining half part of the petiole get modified into a sac like bag. In pitcher plant, insectivorous plant. Okay. So what you find here? Part of the petiole, meaning so half part of the petiole is modified into tendril and remaining half part of the petiole modified into a sac like bag. You know, it is an insectivorous plant. Whenever any insect will come here, immediately it closes the lid and traps the insect. Anyway, we will talk about this in the last part of leaf modifications. We will talk about Nepenthes. But try to remember in Nepenthes, in this pitcher plant, half of the petiole, part of the petiole modified into tendril. So this is nothing but what we call, first one called tendrils. I repeat again, what are tendrils? Thin, wiry, coiled, sensitive structures helps in climbing. Let us take some of the examples. In some plants, a part of the leaf modified into tendrils, and we are going to write example on other side. Entire leaf modified into tendril. So here total leaf got modified into tendril. Where do you find? In case of Lathyrus. Listen carefully the pronunciation. Lathyrus. Upper leaflets get modified into tendrils. See here, a small leaflets are there. Upper leaflets are modified into tendrils. Where do you find this? Pisum sativum. It is commonly called pea plant. Similarly, here leaf apex modified into tendrils. See, this is the leaf, tip of the leaf is apex, it get modified into tendril, leaf apex. You find in case of Gloriosa. Stipules. What are stipules? A small leaf-like structures which are present on either side of the leaf base are called stipules. In some members, stipules, now you see in the diagram, on either side you find tendrils. Here stipules are modified into tendrils on either side of the leaf. Where do you find? Remember, in case of the plant Smilax. Pronunciation, I hope you can understand clearly. Gloriosa, Smilax. Okay, and entire petiole modified into tendril in case of Clematis. What is petiole? Petiole is nothing but stalk of the leaf. Stalk of the leaf get modified into tendril in case of Clematis, and part of the petiole, meaning here half of the petiole get modified into tendril, remaining half of the petiole sac like bag. You can see this in case of pitcher plant, scientifically called as Nepenthes. Now these are called as what? First leaf modification called tendrils. Now, let us talk about the second one as spines. Second one, leaves are modified into spines. What are the spines? Here the spines are, they may be a thin or thick, a strong, needle-like structures, helps in protection, So generally you can describe spines are what? Spines may be in some cases very thin, sharp, needle-like, or thick, very thick, needle-like, very strong needle-like structures, helps in protection from grazing animals. Any grazing animal, if it tries to feed, or any insect is trying to cause damage, to get protection from the other animals, here some plants have natural adaptation to develop what are called spines. Right. Now let us take some of the examples for the spines here. So here also I am giving you table. Part of the leaf modified into spines. And example, okay. Now we are going to study part of the leaf get modified into spines. Let us take entire leaf, means total leaf get modified into spine. Where do you find? You find this in case of asparagus, as well as in case of Opuntia. Right? Examples you can practice where entire leaf got modified into spine. Total leaf itself modified into what? Spine. Where do you find such type? You find in asparagus, Opuntia. Guys, if you remember, Opuntia we discussed in leaf also. In stem modification also we discussed Opuntia, right? So there the flattened structure itself is stem. On the stem what you find is leaves are reduced to form spines. So these are leaves. Leaves are modified into what? Spines. Where do you find such type of arrangement? In case of Opuntia. Did you remember in stem modification we discussed? Stem becomes a flattened fleshy structure where leaves are reduced to form spines to reduce the rate of transpiration. Especially you find this in case of xerophytes. Then apart from this, now can take that a part of the, and this is entire petiole. Now you can take stipules are modified into spines. In case of Arachis as well as Gygipus. Arachis as well as Gygipus. Stipules are modified into spines in case of Arachis and Gygipus. For example, Gygipus, you know, regu chettu, regu pandlu antam, regu chettu, right? If you look at there, now this is a leaf, this is a fruit you find, and just beside that you find what is called a spine. This is a spine. So actually leaf should be here, actually leaf should be there here. Leaf is modified to form spine in case of Gygipus and Arachis. Let us continue further, let us give some number to continue. So here again I am writing part modified into spine and example, right. Here leaf lamina. What is the meaning of leaf lamina? Leaf total surface area of leaf. Surface area of leaf modified into spine. Where do you find this? You find in case of allow, yucca, and again I am writing asparagus. Because in asparagus, you know, cladophyll, condensed branches where entire leaf and also leaf lamina get modified into spine. So asparagus we studied in number of places. In root also we studied, did you remember? Fasciculated roots, tubercular roots, root stores food material. You remember, there we studied what is called asparagus. In that, in some species of asparagus, entire leaf modified into spines. In some species of asparagus, leaf lamina get modified into spines. Apart from that, you know aloe vera. Aloe vera, you know, leaf get modified into spine. In aloe vera you find like this, leaf itself will be like a spine. So, it is like a very sharp edge, spine. This you find, this is nothing but what I drawn, aloe vera. So, here leaf itself get modified into spine. You know, in aloe vera you find a green color juicy succulent one and stores little water. It also show what is called as a xerophytic adaptation. Even if you do not pour water also, aloe vera will survive because it is a xerophyte. If you see the leaves of aloe vera, they exactly very sharp edges, they are like needle-like, they are called as what? Spines, right. Then apart from this, here in this case, right, so here bipinnately compound leaves, compound leaves, meaning these are like, they are also like spines. These are nothing but leaves. Veins are there, veinlets are there. Now this is nothing but what? Bipinnately compound leaves. Right. Means leaf is divided into two parts. It will get segregated, separated into two parts. It is called a bipinnately compound leaf. Such type of arrangement you find in case of, where find smilax. You find in case of smilax. Similarly, leaf margin get modified into spine in case of argemone. What happens? What is meant by leaf spine here? The leaf margin means margin get modified into like this. So this is leaf, this is margin. Margin becomes a sharp edges and these are nothing but spines. Leaf margin modified into spines you find in case of argemone. So here a part of the leaf get modified into spines. What are spines? They are thin or thick. A strong needle structures helps in protection from grazing animals, right? Entire leaf modified into spine you find in case of Asparagus opuntia. Stipules, generally they exhibit xerophytic mechanism. Stipules, you know, they are like small leaf-like structures on either side of the leaf base. And right here, the stipules get modified into spines and fruit will come, that you find in case of Arachis and Gygipus. Pronunciation I repeat, Arachis, Gygipus, where stipules are modified into spines. Next, leaf lamina get modified into spines in case of aloe vera, yucca, asparagus. In some species of asparagus, you find total entire leaf. In some species of asparagus, you find leaf surface. Lamina means leaf surface. Also exhibit what? Xerophytic adaptation. Bipinnately compound leaves. What is meant by bipinnately compound leaves? We will study in types of leaves where leaf is divided into two small structures like this with the sharp ends called spines are called bipinnately compound leaves. You find in case of Smilax. Similarly, leaf margin. The margins are very sharp pointed structures we find in case of Argemone. So, here leaves are modified into spines for the sake of protection. Next is scale leaves. What is the next one we have? Scale leaves. So, here the scale leaves are reduced in some members. For example, if you take rhizome, what did you study? Ginger, right? And also you can study example Ruscus. So, you can take corm also. Okay, what happens in this case? Leaves are reduced. Leaves are reduced and they are called scale leaves. Where do you find scale leaves? Now, if you remember underground stem modifications, for example, rhizome. In rhizome you studied ginger, curcuma longa, turmeric. You remember? What is ginger scientific name? Gingiber officinalis, common name is ginger, and curcuma longa, common name is turmeric. What do you find? Underground stem. Did you remember? Rhizome, right? Corm, what do you find? Amorphophallus, Zamin Khan, even Colocasia. You remember? In these cases what happens? For example, if you take ginger in rhizome, did you remember? So, here the leaves get reduced to form scale leaves. So, these are nothing but scale leaves. So, what I have drawn here? Ginger. It grows horizontally, it is nothing but rhizome. Even corm examples, apart from this, even Ruscus. In Ruscus also, leaves are reduced into a small lines, nothing but they are called scale leaves. Why they are reduced into scale leaves? To reduce rate of transpiration, to reduce loss of water. Water not to lose from the plant, here leaves are get reduced to form scale leaves because stem is doing the function called storage, right? Such type of leaves are called as what? Scale leaves. Next one is, we talk about what we call as phyllodes. Next one is phyllodes. In this phyllodes here, petiole modified into a flat flat, swollen, or we write thick, a green structure for what? To perform photosynthesis. To perform, the petiole is modified into, what is a petiole? Petiole is nothing but what? Stalk of the leaf. Stalk of the leaf. Stalk of the leaf is called petiole. What petiole is doing here? Petiole undergoing some changes. Petiole get modified into a flat, swollen, thick and green structure to perform photosynthesis. Leaf is not doing photosynthesis. If petiole is doing photosynthesis, the petiole is called as what? Phyllodes. So, the best example if you take, I am writing example here. For phyllodes, I am writing example here. You can write here Australian acacia. Australian acacia. So, species name you have to write with a small letter, acacia. Right. So, what do you find here? Australian acacia. In Australian acacia, what happens here? Initially on the stem, we can see a bipinnately compound leaves. Bipinnately compound leaves. They are short-lived. Short-lived means what? They get fall off. Short-lived means what? After some time. First of all, they are bipinnately compound leaf. What is bipinnately compound leaf? So, this is the stem, this is the petiole, this is the petiole, and here the leaves are bipinnately compound leaves. They are bipinnately compound leaf, means leaf is divided into two rows. Leaf is divided into two rows. It is called bipinnately compound leaves. But these bipinnately compound leaves are short-lived. Short-lived means they have short lifespan. They occur for few months. After that, what happens? They will get fall off. When they get fall off, then how food will be prepared? So, after they get fall off here, now petiole get modified into phyllodes. Now, petiole get modified into phyllodes. Now, this will become, after they get fall off, here if these all get fall off, then what happens to petiole? It becomes a structure like this. How? It becomes flat, swollen or thick, green structure to perform photosynthesis. Now, when it becomes flat and thick structure, this itself is called as what? Phyllodes, and that performs photosynthesis. Okay, I hope you got the phyllodes. What is a phyllodes here? Petiole modified into flat, swollen, thick green structure to perform photosynthesis. And what is petiole? Stalk of the leaf. What is example? In Australian acacia, what is present? Bipinnately compound leaves are present. They are short-lived, means they occur for very short lifespan, hardly 2 or 3 months. After that, they will get fall off. That is why they are called short-lived. Then petiole becomes phyllodes. Petiole modified into thick green structure, performs photosynthesis, prepares the food. Now, petiole is called phyllodes. So, what is the example? Australian acacia. So, let us quickly revise what the two more categories we studied under leaf modifications. Take the first one as scale leaves. Where do you find scale leaves? They are actually found in case of underground stem called rhizome, also found in corm, also found in ruscus. You know rhizome example ginger, turmeric, musa also will come, banana, and Amorphophallus colocasia. For example, you know ginger, on this leaves are reduced. Leaves are reduced, then they are called scaly leaves. Means leaves are reduced into lines which you find on the ginger. Why leaves are reduced into lines here, scales here? To reduce loss of water. To avoid water loss, leaves are modified and reduced into scales, lines. Right? Then phyllodes. Petiole modified into thick structure, green for form photosynthesis, and that you find in case of Australian acacia. Bipinnately compound leaves are present, they are short lived, they get fall off in soon time, then petiole will take the function of preparing food and now it acts as a phyllodes. Right, let us continue further. So, what is the next category we have to study? Nothing but storage leaves. Storage leaves, where do you find? You know that you find in case of, again the same examples will come. Allium cepa, it is commonly called as onion. Scilla indica, right, and even we find in Caesium, Allium sativum. It is commonly called as garlic, right. So, in underground stem modification in bulb, what did you study? So, if you take in case of onion, I am drawing a smaller one, not the bigger one, okay. So, here if you look at, in this case, here scale leaves becomes fleshy, scale leaves becomes fleshy and stores food, So, this the stem what you find here, this is a bulb. The stem what you find here, that is an example for bulb. But in this bulb, what you find are nothing but scale leaves. What these scale leaves will do? They will become fleshy and stores food. That is why in onion as well as in garlic, what is onion? Allium cepa. What is garlic? Allium sativum. In these two cases, leaf stores food, that is why they are called as storage leaves. Scale leaves becomes fleshy, stores food in all these cases. So, they are examples for stem modification, also examples for leaf modifications. Scilla indica, common name is itself is scilla. Scilla indica commonly it is called scilla. So, here what you find are called storage leaves. Next is, then what we find in next case here, we find reproductive leaves. What we find is reproductive leaves. What is the meaning of reproductive leaves here? Here leaves helps in regrowth or vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means part of the leaf involved in the formation of total plant. Best example, now you can take bryophyllum. I think in lower classes you studied. Now, in bryophyllum if you look at, very clearly you can see on the leaf, you can see the notches, right. So, these are called as notches. Notches or we call node. From that you can see the development of buds. These are called adventitious roots. And from here what comes out is called a small plantlet. What comes out here it is called a small plantlet. This bud is called epiphyllous bud. It is called epiphyllous bud. I repeat again, in bryophyllum, if you take in case of bryophyllum, now if you take the bryophyllum leaf, if you carefully observe, on the margin we find some nodes. These nodes are called notches. From the notches, what you can see here is a development of what we call adventitious roots. And from the adventitious roots, there is a development of the young plantlet. So, the buds which are lead to young plantlet The buds are called epiphyllous buds. The buds are called epiphyllous buds. Epiphyllous buds helps in vegetative propagation. Meaning, if you cut this particular part of the leaf, put it in the soil, again it grows into a completely a new plant. So, that you find in case of what? Bryophyllum. Similarly, in case of begonia, see, you can remember regrowth occurs. Regrowth occurs from broken part of the leaf. Broken part of the leaf. Okay. So, in case of begonia, what happens? Regrowth occurs from the broken part of the leaf. What's the meaning of this? If this is a leaf, maybe some grazing animal has eaten this leaf. So, it's been cutted here. Some animal has eaten, the leaf got damaged or leaf got broken. Then what happens? Again regrowth occurs. The regrowth occurs again, young leaflet forms occurs here. The regrowth very clearly can be observed in case of begonia. That means once again the leaf formation occurs, once again the regrowth occurs. That is why they are called as reproductive leaves, right. So, this is fine nothing but bryophyllum, little is this bryophyllum, right. Next is we find insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants. What are insectivorous plants? Which eat insects are called as insectivorous plants, or they are also called trap leaf plants because they contain trap leaves. Because they contain what? Trap leaves. Now, where do you find this? Let us take first examples. You find Nepenthes. Nepenthes, commonly called as pitcher plant. It's commonly called as pitcher plant. Dionaea, it's called sundew plant. Utricularia, it's commonly called bladderwort. And then Drosera, commonly called as Venus flytrap. So, what do we study in all these cases? These all are nothing but examples of insectivorous plants. They trap and eat insects. They trap and eat insects. That is why they are called insectivorous plants. What do they contain? Trap leaves. They trap the insects. What are the examples? Just look at the pronunciation, listen carefully. Nepenthes. Nepenthes commonly called as pitcher plant. Dionaea, it's commonly called as sundew plant. Utricularia, it's commonly called bladderwort. Then Drosera, commonly called Venus flytrap. Now let us come to Nepenthes. I am drawing Nepenthes here. So as you have seen earlier, it is like this, a bag like sac like structure which develops into like this. It has a lid. So what is this? This is nothing but tendril. Which part got modified into tendril? Earlier we studied petiole. Petiole get modified into tendril. Then what about this? This is nothing but leaf lamina, leaf surface area. Leaf lamina, leaf surface area get modified into what? A sac like bag. A sac like bag. Right. And on the surface you find a part of the leaf get modified into a lid. And this closes and opens. The lid is meant for closing and opening. So if any insects come in contact to this, if any insector will come, immediately the lid closes. The insect is trapped here. Within this immediately digestive juices are secreted from digestive glands, and that causes digestion of insect, and from the insect they absorb nitrogen compounds. So here you can understand very clearly. That means where do you find these insectivorous plants will grow? They grow in nitrogen deficient soils. Nitrogen deficient soils means the soil which is lack of nitrogen. Nitrogen is the most important compound for plant growth and metabolism. So when these insectivorous plants, when they grow in the soil, as they are lack of nitrogen, what do? They structurally they get modified to trap the insects. For example, we are talking about Nepenthes. In Nepenthes what you find? Tendril is nothing but petiole. At the end of the tendril, if you look at leaf lamina, leaf surface area get modified into a sac like bag. This is a bag like structure on which you find a lid like structure is there. What is lid? For closing and opening. Now whenever insect is come in contact with that, immediately lid get closed, insect is trapped inside. So to digest the insect, digestive glands releases digestive juices, and that causes digestion of the insect, and it absorbs nitrogen compounds from the insects. From the pest, they contain some nitrogen. By digesting this insect, plant will absorb nitrogen compound. For the sake of nitrogen, they trap insects. That is why they are called as insectivorous plants. So these all are nothing but leaf modifications. Quickly I revise it. Storage leaves, where do you find? In Allium cepa onion, Scilla indica, Allium sativum garlic, right? And here leaves are, scale leaves becomes fleshy, stores food. That is why they are called as what? Storage leaves. Where do you find? In the stem modification called bulb. Next, reproductive leaves here, which helps in vegetative propagation. For example, bryophyllum, from the notches, from the nodes you can see formation of adventitious roots, development of young plant. So these buds are called epiphyllous buds. They are called as epiphyllous buds, helps in vegetative propagation. Similarly, in begonia, regrowth occurs from broken part of the leaf. So here whenever leaf got damaged or it got broken because of grazing animals, once again regrowth occurs. That is why they are called as reproductive leaves. Then you find insectivorous plant, they also contain trap leaves. That is why they are called trapping plants. You can take example Nepenthes, pitcher plant, Dionaea, sundew plant, Utricularia, bladderwort, Drosera, Venus flytrap. For our understanding, we are taking Nepenthes. Nepenthes contain tendril, nothing but petiole, we discussed in leaf modification, and at the end you find sac like bag. It is because of modification of leaf lamina. You find lid, it meant for opening and closing, traps the insect with the help of digestive glands. Digestive juices are secreted inside the sac. There is a digestion of insect. From the insect they absorb what are called as nitrogen compounds. So these all are nothing but what? Leaf modifications.